Hi everyone, just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. It looks like okay. Just give me 1 second. Everyone, just give me 1 second. Interesting. Hi Jim, do you hear an echo? I have no idea where this is coming from, but I hear. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry, I fixed it. I apologize. Thank you so much. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really, really excited about this session because we're diving into the world of community building, creativity, and of course, some powerful tools that make all of this possible. We have a very, very special guest with us, Jim, who has become a prominent voice on LinkedIn with over 16,000 followers and is also the founder of Black Tofu. If you've seen their work online, you know they bring a unique perspective on branding, on storytelling, and building meaningful connections. So today we'll explore Jim's journey, how they grew their audience, the inspiration behind Black Tofu, and the story behind that very unique and unforgettable name. We'll also hear about the kinds of projects that they're working on right now, and maybe some advice that he can give to anyone looking to create an authentic community, just like Jim. And of course, we'll spend some time talking about their experience with AKOOL Live Camera, what first stood out to them, how they use it in their workflow, and why they believe it can be a game changer for the creators and founders. So, as always, thank you so much for coming. And Jim, thank you so much for joining the webinar. I know you're a very busy man, so we at AKOOL appreciate a lot that you are able to spend this time to talk about your journey and your experience with AKOOL Live. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be here, Eugene. I'm always excited to talk with you and share a piece of my story.
Okay, that's great. Um, Sorry. Okay. If you have any questions, please always ask away in the chat. I have it ready here. I'll try my best to keep an eye out. Um, yeah, okay. Sounds like only I heard the echo, which is good. But yeah, again, thank you so much for coming, Jim. But let's get straight into it then. I guess just to start off, of course, I know you. We've met. I've had the amazing opportunity to meet you that one time a few weeks ago. It was really nice meeting you back then. But to those to the people in the audience, or for the people in the audience that have never met you, and might have not seen your presence on LinkedIn, could you share a little bit about who you are and how you got to this point?
Yeah, so I won't share my whole story, but in a nutshell, I'm born and raised in San Diego. I'm first generation Asian American, three brothers, and my dad was a bus driver, my mom was a caregiver. And in 2018, I moved to San Francisco in order to work in tech. And I share my story because my parents didn't know anything about tech. They didn't
Mm,
tell me about networking. They didn't tell me about what it means to build relationships. I didn't know what LinkedIn was, what LinkedIn was. But when I moved to San Francisco, I knew I had to learn all of these things.
yeah.
And one way of putting myself out there was networking, going into in-person events, but also building my brand and my personal brand on
Mhm.
LinkedIn. So that's where I'm at today, and I've grown it to 16,000 plus followers, and it continues to grow. And I'm just very grateful to be able to have the platform and voice to help amplify and uplift other folks that have a similar background to myself.
Wow. I like that. Your growth, especially you moving to San Francisco, and then having to learn everything by yourself, it feels very earned. It doesn't feel accidental. It's proof that showing up consistently and with purpose really does pay off. So, congratulations. You're obviously you must be happy with everything finally working out for you. I hope your parents are very happy for you as well.
Yeah.
Then it's one thing to share your voice online, but it's another thing entirely to build a brand from scratch. that's where vision really shines. So what lit the spark for Black Tofu?
Yeah, so my background is in sales and in customer success, so all things within the go-to-market function. And one way of reaching out and getting prospects is through creating content on LinkedIn, so that way people know who I am and it's not some cold person reaching out. They'll see my content and they'll be more comfortable when I do make that phone call or when I do
Mm.
like a LinkedIn message or warm email. Um, and so what led me to Black Tofu is me creating content on LinkedIn, and then eventually people starting to ask me questions like, "Hey, how are you able to build a portfolio? How are you able to gain followers? How are you able to become a thought leader?" And
Mhm.
because so many people in that C-suite level were asking me about this, I was like, "Well, shoot, I've been doing this for several years. Maybe I could make money doing this and providing this as a service." And that's essentially how I started Black Tofu a couple months
Wow.
ago.
Well, I can tell your company isn't just a business to you. It's a reflection of your values and the change that you want to see. So it's amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm excited to see the next steps forward for you. But names obviously stick and they create curiosity before people even know the product. I know on well, for myself, black tofu is a very, very interesting name. Yours has that intrigue factor. So I need to ask, what's the story behind naming your company Black Tofu?
Yeah, so it's a funny story actually. My wife is from China and she grew up in a province called Changsha, which is
Mm,
in the Hunan region. And the first time I visited her country to see her parents and her family, there's a street food that's in every corner in Changsha, and it's called stinky black tofu, or in Chinese, chou tofu.
mm.
And it's such a prominent smell, and it's very polarizing. You either hate it or love it, but regardless, you know that it's there. And then similar to the content that I create for myself as well as my clients, it's it's very recognizable. People notice it. And I like the name.
Oh,
I like the name, but I didn't want to call myself Stinky Black Tofu.
yeah.
So I scrapped the stinky part and just called it Black Tofu. And the craziest thing is after I registered the company Black Tofu
Uh,
LLC in California, I didn't put two and two together that tofu also means top of funnel. And a lot of the content that I create for myself as well as my clients are
oh,
top of funnel. So I thought that was a great way to just call myself Black Tofu. And the way I think of it, because I'm so creative, is uh I don't want to be like limited to just one, like, hey, ghostwriting LLC
yeah.
or branding LLC. So I want it to be like Black Tofu as the umbrella for any different functions if I were to grow that in the future.
Wow. Wait, I love that. It's so much creativity behind the name. I love hearing that it's partly inspired by your wife, but also the fact that you accidentally made it into such a creative word in America. Black tofu, top of funnel.
Yeah,
Wow.
and food is a way to people's hearts. And
Yeah,
so
it is. It is. Oh, I
I
like
want to
that
create
too.
content that strikes a chord on people.
You're off to an amazing start, I think. Having such a creative and I would say inspirational name to start off your company. Such a strong start. I'm
Thank you,
excited.
thank
I'm
you.
excited to see where it goes. But so you have the name. And then after that, I always find it fascinating to see how vision gets translated into actual projects. So obviously, you have the name, you have a strong vision, backed by your experience and what you want to do with the company. It's where ideas meet the execution. So I'm curious on what you are working right now with Black Tofu.
Yeah. So I launched officially 2 months ago, and one of my biggest initiatives projects today is putting myself out there so people start recognizing what Blafu is, who I am as a founder. And a few ways I'm doing that is first, I'm going in person because I live in the Bay Area, San Francisco. I'm going to in-person events. There's so many out here for networking with other founders to keep up with the latest trends. And then second is I'm creating marketing campaigns. So one that I did was I bought local fortune cookies in San Francisco at the
Mm.
original fortune cookie shop and handed them out to founders around WeWorks offices around San Francisco. And I captured all of this on film. And so that leads me to my third initiative is getting more into video and exploring that. And so I have been creating a lot of content regarding video content in San Francisco in person, or even just in my own house. So that way I could put it out there on LinkedIn.
I like that. I like how you're balancing creation with community. It feels like you're building momentum on multiple fronts. I remember actually while working in office with my director, Elena, she mentioned that she saw that you were in San Francisco passing out donuts or what was it?
Fortune cookies.
Fortune
So
cookies,
fortune
yeah.
cookies were created in San Francisco and they have the original shop in Chinatown.
Ah, that's amazing. That it really shows how much work that you're putting in to really grow your company. Um, but I guess right before we move on to the AKOOL Live segment, I am curious, and I'm sure a lot of other new founders are curious as well. Community building can feel very overwhelming, but clearly you found a rhythm. If someone's starting from scratch and wants to grow something that lasts, what would you tell them? What advice would you be able to provide?
Yeah, so I know you started off at like, hey, Jim has 16,000 followers. And to me, that's like, it's cool that I've gotten recognition and there's a decent
Mhm.
amount of people who are following me. But to create real sense of community, it's like what we're doing right now, these individual conversations, these one-on-ones. And
Mhm.
so if you're able to find people through an in-person event, online, on LinkedIn, where you just have a coffee chat to like intrigue your curiosity and to learn more about this person, you'll find out that hey, these people have similar interests to me. They have similar passions and goals. And when you find that one person, that's when magic starts to happen. And that's true communities when you connect with people on an individual basis because it organically starts to unfold and it you start gravitating towards people who are maybe similar to you or have similar goals, and then that's how community is grown and developed.
That's perfect. That's a great answer. It's very simple advice, but not easy to stick to, which is exactly why it works. So thank you for that answer. Okay, then let's move on to the AKOOL Live camera. I am curious on your experience, and how you might utilize it for yourself, whether it's professional or personal. So first impressions are everything, especially in tech. If it feels clunky, people walk away. When you first opened up live camera, what went through your head?
Yeah, it's insane, and I'm excited to test it out towards the end of this podcast. But technology is advancing like insane, like crazy. And to be able to use a tool like AKOOL is it's like you get a glimpse of what the like the future is. Like we're living
Mhm.
in the future right now, and to have an avatar presented in front of like these video chats that people have on a day to day is amazing because for someone like me who because I'm my own founder, one of the reasons why I want to continue to build a business is I have the flexibility to work remotely. Sometimes that means working in my office, or hey,
Mhm.
if I'm feeling like it, going to the beach. Just and sometimes I'm on the airlines and they have access to Wi-Fi, but hey, I don't want to present myself in that environment. I don't want to
Uh,
say, hey, look, I'm in the beach, or I'm on bed because I'm sleepy. I want a slow start because I had a long night day before. And so if I have a tool such as AKOOL, I'm able to just have an avatar in an office where it seems like, hey, I'm just on a day-to-day basis in an office.
Wow, I love hearing that. It's exactly the reaction that we were hoping for. We wanted that excitement and the drive to be able to use it in any scenario. Like you said, maybe on vacation or on the plane. That's exactly what we were going for. Then that honestly answered my next question. I wanted to ask if you were able to use it for any projects or if you use it in personal life, but it sounds like you already do in some situations. But if you have more details of any examples, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so I have a small team, and as the founder, the way I want to be perceived is like I want to be perceived as someone who is respected.
Mhm.
And if I'm laying in bed because I want a slow morning and they see me in bed, that's a
Mhm.
reflection of not just myself, but my company. And I'm not telling my employees that they have to be grinding out all the time. Like they could definitely just be like if it's comfortable for them to be on the couch while they work, totally totally cool. But from a founder's perspective, I want to make sure that
Of
they see
course.
me in a good light. And so there have been times where I'm just like laying in bed because I'm having a slow morning and I'm attending these calls with my employees. And I'm just turn on the avatar and it's like, oh shoot, Jim is in the office and they wouldn't even know.
That's perfect. I love that. That's exactly what we were hoping for. That's really I sometimes use it too, which is whenever we have to, whenever, like you said, if I'm in bed, I often use it when I'm actually in bed too. I don't want to show that I'm in bed. That's, it's really exciting. Technology is moving fast, like you
It's,
said.
it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Then, okay, then we talked about how you use it. I'm hoping you could actually show us what it looks like. If you could just switch into it, maybe so that way we can show the audience what your coworkers might see when you use the tool.
Yeah. Putting me on the spotlight here. So I haven't updated my avatar in a minute. It is what I've used in the past. So let me see if I can turn it on. Give me 1 second,
Yeah,
Eugene.
okay. While you turn it on, I to the audience, let me see if there's anyone. Okay. If you are here for the credits, then at the end of the webinar, I will be releasing a Google form that you can fill out saying, hey, I was here at the webinar. I had a blast learning about Jim's past and how he uses AKOOL Live Camera. If just fill it out and then we will send you the credits as a thank you for joining the webinar. But it looks like Jim. You're here again. Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm here, but I'm laying. I could be anywhere in the world, but my avatar is representing me, so I'm doing good.
Oh, that's great. It looks like there might be a bit of a lag. It might be due to my internet connection. My Wi-Fi is terrible here. Um, if anyone is curious on trying it, it is still technically in early access because it is in beta mode. But if you do want to try it, you can always just go to our website and then find the live camera and then fill out the form with your information, with your work email, your AKOOL email, and we will send you the early access files for the camera so that way you can test it out yourself, just like Jim has been testing out. Um, then I guess one thing I'm curious about is obviously as a creator and as a business starter, you've tried many tools. Most creators I talk to have a toolkit that they've tried and sometimes outgrown. So when you put AKOOL and this camera, or maybe just AKOOL in general, side by side with other tools, how does AKOOL stand up to them? I'm curious on your
Yeah,
experience.
so I use native tools. Yeah, can you hear me, Eugene?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so I've used native tools within Zoom for like avatars in the past. But the cool thing with using a cool, cool, it's like I'm laughing because this is like a legit avatar that I can use as opposed to like
Yeah.
the cartoons that you can use on native like Zoom. So that's intriguing. And I know that the technology is going to continue to advance and get better.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see what happens. Thank you for showing the avatar, but like you said, I'm excited to see what happens or how it looks in the future since we are just building and building and updating as much as possible. It looks like there was a bit of lag with the actual movement. Um, I think it's mostly because of my Wi-Fi. I think it's just it looks like the voice was coming first. But I'm sure that when you have actual meetings with your employees, it looks much better. But thank you for showing off how it looks like. Then I guess, would you, or a recommendation from someone in the trenches carries a lot more weight than any ad. Word of mouth. It's has the most impact. So I have to ask, would you tell other creators and founders to try it out? And what would you, or what would be your reasoning?
Yeah, I say if anyone's creating online on LinkedIn, wherever, whatever platform they're using, you want to be in the forefront of technology. And one way of doing that is by using tools such as AKOOL. I think in the like now and in the future, it will be easy to get left behind if you're not keeping up to date with these latest tools. And I recently, like right before this call, I saw that AKOOL got #1 in the like
Mm,
Inc. Within those 5,000 private companies. And that's for a reason. It's because they're in the forefront of this technology and they continue to advance it. So congrats to you, Eugene, and the AKOOL team.
thank you.
But if I was a creator today, starting for the first time, I would start tapping into and exploring tools such as AKOOL to see how you can leverage it within the content creation um, world.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. It means a lot coming from someone who actually uses the tool and from someone that's starting a company. It must be hard. I can't imagine how stressful it is to start a company just from scratch. Then I think that is most of what I wanted to go over. It was mainly just I wanted to know more about you and what you're doing and your experience with AKOOL Live. Before we start concluding the webinar, do you have anything you want to say? Any last advice that you would want to give to anyone maybe trying to start a company themselves or just trying to grow a presence like you did on LinkedIn?
Yeah, thanks for giving me the room to share some last remarks. I would say, regardless of where you are in your journey, if you're just starting out or if you're well seasoned and you've been doing this for last several years, don't forget to take care of your mental health. And sometimes
Mm,
that means various things. For me, it means in between meetings, I'm going out for walks or whatnot. So take care of your mental health. And that's usually gives you the opportunity to get more creative, to focus more on your career, to be with loved ones and friends. So take care of your health.
I like that a lot. I think a lot of people don't consider mental health. So I love that you included that as the last part piece of advice. That's really good. I like it a lot. But this I think it was a very nice, amazing conversation, Jim. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, your insights, and your experience with us today. I think we can all agree that the way you've built your community and the creativity into your work is very inspiring. At least I find it very inspiring.
I appreciate
And
it.
hearing how AKOOL Live Camera has become part of your workflow was especially exciting. That's exactly why we built it, to give creators and founders a tool that's very powerful and adaptable to whatever vision that you're trying to bring to your life. So, to everyone watching, if you haven't tried AKOOL Live, like I mentioned earlier, you can just go to our website and then fill out the form to get the early access. Once again, Jim, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the audience for spending time with us today. We can't wait to see what you create next with AKOOL Live Camera. And I guess before we head out, again, thank you so much, Jim. I know you're very busy, so it's an amazing opportunity for us to have you hop on this call with us for this webinar to share your experience with the audience. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Eugene. Thanks, AKOOL team.
Thank you. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, Jim.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right. With that, I hope you all had an amazing webinar. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.